I'm mystic healer Sonja Grace. I work long distance all over the world on health issues, emotional trauma and wounds, mental dysfunction, and spiritual guidance. I'm like a surgeon who goes in and repairs hearts and livers and kidneys, spleens and illness and disease, all on an energetic level. I was fortunate with my abilities and gifts to have parents who saw I was different and didn't quite know what to do with me, so they placed me in ballet class. I trained as a classical ballerina and went on to dance and act for a decade with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. My favorite play was Romeo and Juliet. As a mystic healer, I'm looking at patterns and cycles of love and karma all day long. This play provides so many aspects of humanity that we experience it over and over again and still ponder the depth of truth that Will Shakespeare provided. Lady Capulet informs her daughter Juliet she has to be married to Paris. When asked how she feels about this, Juliet replies, "It is an honor that I dream not of." Juliet's mother has the expectation of a good match, while Juliet herself has the expectation of love, and that a match will equal her desire for love. In all matters of love, it is hard not to have expectations. We are reminded of the intersection where expectations meet karma, and there is some cataclysmic event that takes place. Juliet's love is pure and innocent. Her mother, on the other hand, has big expectations for her daughter and a good match that would secure her well-being with someone as prominent as Paris. More often than not, expectations can create disappointment and set us up for failure. How do we manage expectations? It's not easy. When we learn to live in the moment, releasing our attachment to what we think should be, then we start to become present. One of the biggest resistance that I see working with people all day long is what they were handed, their lot in life. The discomfort of taking responsibility for that, rather than blaming everybody else, is often the roadblock that stops us from being successful. Learning to find what you can appreciate in the moment, how wealthy you are because you have bread in the cupboard, you have a pair of shoes by the door, and you have children or a pet or a partner or family that loves you. These are the things that make us wealthy. These are the things that we can build upon without expectation, but rather gratitude. Some of you might think, well, I have children, and of course I have expectations of them. I want them to have good grades. I want them to pick up their room, and I certainly want them to be successful. So how do we work with our children and not place unnecessary expectations upon them? When we acknowledge our children for the good job that they did, we are building a foundation of self-esteem and support for their adult lives. Tell them, you put your shoes on by yourself. That's fantastic. Because when we approach children with the feeling that it's never good enough and they aren't doing it right, that in itself turns into a pattern, and as children, we believe we're not good enough. We can't do it right, and failure becomes the #1 belief system. Learning what is age appropriate for a child in terms of responsibilities helps us to not have such big expectations, but rather teach them to be present. As adults, we must remember children are very sensitive and they perceive things on many levels. So sending the right signal and reminding them how good, loved, precious, valued, and respected they are develops a good, loved, precious, valued, and respected adult. Let's call in all the angels and do a healing for the inner child. that part of us that needs to feel loved, respected, and valued. And most of all, trust that we are enough just as we are. Close your eyes and visualize yourself as a child crawling or walking up to you, and ask them, how do you feel? Ask them, what do they need? And then feel your heart filling them up with love, and their heart opening and filling you up with love. Tell them that you are there for them always. You're parenting them now. You're the mom and the dad, and that you love them more than anything. I look forward to seeing you next time when I dive into what it means to find your soulmate, and like Romeo and Juliet, you find each other once again.